Hello and welcome back. This is another Algebra 1 video. In this video, we're going to focus on how to solve compound inequalities. Okay, here is the first example we're going to do together. We're going to solve this compound inequality to figure out what the variable is equal to. Now, a lot of times when you're solving compound inequalities, you get two answers for your variable. So don't be surprised if we end up with two answers for you. So this is what we call an and inequality, where when we say the answer, it's going to be an and. There's ands and then there's ors in compound inequality, and we're going to see both of those today. So in an and inequality, we have this part in the middle. That is part of both the inequalities. So what I'm going to do is split it up and write it twice. I'm going to write u plus 13 over here and u plus 13 over here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the different parts of the inequality from each side. So I'm going to start with this over here. I'm going to put 11 is greater than or equal to here. And then for this one, I'm going to put greater than or equal to 9. So I kind of just distributed the equation. Now I'm going to solve them both separately as if they were two different equations, or sorry, inequalities. So I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides here and cancel this. So this becomes -2 is greater than or equal to u. And then on this side, I'm also going to subtract 13 from both sides. Cancel this out. So u is greater than or equal to, and then 9 minus 13 is -4. So again, the u is in the middle, which is exactly where I want it if I wanted to write it as a compound inequality. So I can either put the word and in between and have my answers, or I could write it like this, with u in the middle, that's greater than or equal to -4, but less than or equal to -2. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to solve this compound inequality for R. And again, this is another and inequality. The way that I know that is because it has this part in the middle that is common, or the common element or common expression for both parts of the inequality. So I'm going to go ahead and write that twice. I'm going to write R plus 12 over here, and then I'm going to write R plus 12 over here. Then I'm going to split up the two different parts of the inequality. So this over here is going to do 0 is greater than or equal to. And then over here, I'm going to attach greater than or equal to -5. Now I'm going to solve them separately. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides here. Cancel this. So it's -12 is greater than or equal to R. And then on this side, it's going to be -12, -12, cancel here. So R is greater than or equal to -17. So I could either write the word and in between these two inequalities, or I could put the R in the middle and have it greater than or equal to -17, but less than or equal to -12. Okay, here's our next example, and this is the first one that is an or. So as I mentioned, there's ands and there's ors, and that really affects how you graph it. So the and ones mean that the value of the inequality is in between two numbers. For the ors, that means that the in between of the two numbers is not a solution. So the solutions go the opposite two ways on the number line when you graph it. So when you see an or inequality, we solve it differently as well. We actually just split them into two separate inequalities. See how they don't have anything in common, just like the other ones had that expression in the middle that was in common. These don't have anything in common. So we're just going to solve them separately, and the answer is going to say or. So let's do that first one. This first one is h plus 5 is less than 1. And this one is 4h minus 9 is greater than or equal to 11. So we'll do the one on the left first. We'll subtract 5 from both sides. Cancel this. So we've got h is less than -4. On this side, we'll add 9 to both sides to cancel that. We have 4h is greater than or equal to 20. And then we'll divide both sides by 4. Cancel that. H is greater than or equal to 5. So the answer here would be, and I'm going to put an or in the middle, that H is less than -4 or H is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, here's our next example. And again, we have another or, so that means we're going to actually separate them into two separate inequalities and solve. So let me rewrite m minus 13 is less than or equal to -4 over here. And this one is m minus 12 divided by 4 is greater than 1. So we'll start with the one on the left. I'm going to start by adding 13 to both sides. Canceling this out, so m is less than or equal to +9. And then on this side, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4 so that these cancel. I end up with m minus 12 is greater than +4 because 1 times 4 is 4. Then I'm going to add 12 to both sides. Cancel this, so m is greater than 16. So this is another or. So I'm going to write the word or in between and maybe bring this down here. So my answer here would be m is less than or equal to 9 or m is greater than 16. Okay, here is our last one for today's video. And again, we have another and. So again, that means when we get our solution, the solution to the inequality is somewhere in between two numbers. That means it's this and this. In the or ones we were doing just before this, that means that the amount in between the two numbers is not a solution. So the solution is going the opposite two ways. Okay, let's start by finding the expression they have in common, which is this y plus 9, and I'm going to write it twice. So I'm going to write y plus 9 and y plus 9 over here. I'm going to start with this part of the inequality first, and I'm actually going to move this over a little bit so I have a little bit more room. And I'm going to put 0, oops, wrong tool, 0 is greater than or equal to here, and over here it's going to be greater than or equal to -3. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and solve both. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides here so that this cancels. I have -9 is greater than or equal to y. And on this side, I'm also going to subtract 9 from both sides. Cancel that. Y is greater than or equal to -12. So to finish my inequality, the y should stay in the middle, just like it is on my two solutions. And then I'm going to say that it is greater than or equal to -12, but it is less than or equal to -9. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video soon.